What is going on, people? What is happening? You see it? I hope you see it. Yeah, it's just me here today, guys. I know don't cry. Don't contain yourself. I know. Yeah, man, we soldiering on, man. It's a lot going on right now. There's stuff, we got to deal with in life. There's issues. We got families. We got to deal with stuff. Nah, man, but this is a beautiful thing, actually. Yeah, there was some prior engagements happening. You got to support the kids and stuff, and that's what we all hope for and hope to be, going forward in life, man. We're here to do stuff to watch our kids grow up, and the most important thing you can do as a parent is be there for your kids for their special events and things that they got going on. That shows a lot. Sometimes you're in a situation where you can't. There's people who are in the armed forces, in the military, that couldn't be there for certain big moments in their kids' life, and that's a tough thing to deal with, because it's hard to get that. You can make up for lost time, but you can't get those moments back. So it's tough. Athletes, I'm sure professionals that work really hard and have demanding jobs have that same issue. So if we have a chance and an opportunity to be able to be there for our kids when our kids got stuff going on, then you best believe we're going to take that opportunity. So shout out to my guy, John. He's there for his son had his event. So he was there to represent and be there, stand up, and represent for his family and be that guy, because you know what, there's a lot of kids out there that don't have that guy. So salute to my brother John. And shout out to Jose as well. Jose also had something going on tonight, which he let us know about. So personal lives, man, let me tell you something. Jose, John, myself, we all got a lot of stuff going on, man. As well as I'm sure you guys out there in the chat and viewers that are watching, it's tough to juggle everything, but somehow we make it work. That's all that matters. Hopefully everybody's doing good. Appreciate y'all. Good to see y'all. What I got to do is, what I got to set up? I got to set up, just in case, a solo shot with the Ron and something with the logo stuff in the background, because we don't have that set up, because we used to usually doing this with 2 or more people. So we got those different types of setups, and we need that single setup too. So sorry guys, we don't got the whole bells and whistles that maybe you used to seeing. It makes the show look a little better. It pops, but can't set it up for just the one person. We got to do some work on that. I'm gonna make sure I get on that though. So yeah, man, salute to you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. The chat, I see you popping. HP Carlos in the building. Kept Giggles. Appreciate you, man. JJ, Jeffrey Clafter, Will Salkin, Sherwin, Judah, my rightness, Geraldine McIver. First lady is still Knicks fans. Don't get it twisted. Mozilla in the building. Freeman 48. Thugger Entertainment is here. Let me see. The streets are buzzing. CT in the building. What's going on, CT? Appreciate you, man. Great shows, great content, bro. I watch, man. You come on at all different times. Sometimes I can't get in the chat and put my comments down because I may be working or whatever, but I'm tuned in, bro. You're doing great stuff as always. The Nick of Time show. Jay Ellis in the building. What's going on? Salute, brother. Appreciate you. Always good to see you here, man. Thank you, man. DJ Space Ghost is here. Salute. Akuma Uzumaki is in the building. What's good? What's good? Illmaddox is here. Sincere the Genius is in the building. Yeah. Nah. Yeah, you know how it is, man. Sometimes, listen, the show got to go on. At least we try to make the show go on. Sometimes it can't go on, but we try our best. Um, so yeah, man, appreciate all y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Let's get it cracking. So, first off, I hope, man, I really got to do something. You guys don't know, man. I know I complain about this a lot, and I'm gonna keep complaining until it gets better for y'all and for me too, man, because I'm stressed out. This signal strength, sometimes I see it like on StreamYard. People who know, you see it in the corner of your eye, whatever platform you're using to put the show together. It shows you the level of strength. And this thing look crazy right now. I don't know. I hope everybody can see the show and there's no issues. I'm wired in, man. So there's no excuses. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Anyway, all right. So back to the show. Thank you, Will Salkin. I see you. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Mike Boy in the building. What's good? C. Remington is in the building. What's good? Okay, so, man, my whole thing is thinking about the show. Alexander Rivera, appreciate you. What up? We was putting this show together. We just wanted to kind of talk about, some of the teams that around the NBA that made some really good pickups for their teams. And so this is based on teams that made really good pickups. So it may not be they got the biggest pickup, you know what I mean? They just got really good pieces to round out the rest of their roster. So when you look at their whole roster, then you're like, oh, wow. Yeah, it fits. Like maybe they were missing this last time. They got this. Maybe they were missing this. They got that. So, they definitely put themselves in a position to have really complete teams, or at least more complete. Nothing's perfect. You know what I mean? So I'm all set and I'm all ready to talk about that. And don't get me wrong, we're still going to talk about that. It's just that today, man, out of nowhere, this Udoka situation is crazy. I don't even know what to say, man. This Udoka situation is wild, bro. And it's wild because, first off, listen. I don't know if my wife is around. She listening to this. Who the hell cheats on Nia Long? You crazy? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Now, I don't know what the situation is. I don't know what's going on there. Who knows? Listen, Nia Long is Hollywood. And if Udoka is with Nia Long, then he's Hollywood. And y'all know that, the young kids, should I say the young people, may not know these facts. But us as adults, we've been around long enough. We know that Hollywood got a lot of fake stuff going on. We think everybody's happy and hunky-dory and in love. And then you find out later, a message came out. We amicably split. Yeah. Both parties, did this. We're going to be there for the children, but this was the best situation for us in our lives. We're still going to remain good friends. And you know how it is. We've seen it so many times. So who knows? I don't know what the Udoka situation is with Nia Long. Maybe they already are separated. We don't know nothing. All I know is what he did do, apparently, is a no-no. Okay, every organization, no matter what job it is, has different policies with regards to fraternizing with coworkers, right? And the other thing is, not only is it fraternizing with a coworker, it's also he's a head coach. He's in a position of power, whether he's a head coach, a top administrator, basketball operator, whatever it is, you're in a position of power in which you have people that you oversee, or people have to answer to you. It's a tough situation. You can't put yourself in that situation. It really, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know how you can kind of get around that. That's a tough one. So I know some people around, and I'm just talking about this real quick because you know what? It's not even necessarily about the scandal and about what's going on with him. I'm talking about it because of how it affects Boston, that team. We talked about how, I'll get to it in a second, but you know where I'm going. So the point that I'm trying to make here is this whole situation Whether or not you feel like it's being blown out of proportion, they're making a big deal about him because whatever. Some people are saying, they're pointing the race card. I'm not saying any of that. All I'm saying is we don't know the whole story yet. And I don't know what's true yet. I do know that he must have done something and they have proof of it, but we don't know how much of it is. Like, how bad is it? Because I saw something earlier, which I don't totally believe, but something said that there's more to this story because, and that's the reason why the severity is what it is, how he could face up to being suspended for a year. Apparently, they said, now that can change at any minute. They said that he is not going to resign his position. Which I don't know. Like I said, I don't know exactly what he's accused of, but it's crazy, man. But think about it like this. Think about it from a basketball standpoint. Boston Celtics seemed like they had the right mix of pieces, but they couldn't get it to work, and for whatever reason, something was missing. It just wasn't, and you decide to, and Udoka's been around the league for quite some time. He's a professional assistant coach. He knows how to, basketball works. You give him the shot and it clicks, and Boston is flying on all cylinders. Yeah, they had a little struggle in the beginning when they were still trying to find themselves. I don't know what changed for them. People say it's the Nick moment. Yeah, we know that. I get it. But for whatever reason, something changed, right? And then you saw how everything clicked and things he were running, plays and stuff seemed to be working. So Udoka seems like a good coach. He has a good idea of what that Boston team is. You go from that and you surprise a lot of people because you had such a horrible start. And then all of a sudden you make it all the way to the finals, the NBA finals, for a chance to win the championship. And you're telling me that now you get this scandal where your head coach is going to be suspended and miss time and won't be able to be there for you guys? That's one thing, okay? And that's big enough. Like, oh man, that's going to be valuable time that they lose out on. But the professionals, they made it to the finals. They got a lot of veterans on the team. You know what? The systems are in place. They should probably be okay for the most part. If he's suspended for a month, a couple months, something like that. But if you want to suspend this guy for the whole season, I can't imagine, bro. I can't imagine what the Boston faithful is going through over there. This is crazy. This is when real life affects your work life. It's wild stuff, man. Anyway, that's enough about that. But you guys, this is a situation. Let me get back to the chat real quick. Just see, I don't want to miss out on anybody. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Yeah, I hear you, Freeman 48. I hear you, brother. J Tap in the building. Salute. Yeah, DJ Space Ghost said we're not getting the full scope. That is correct. I honestly, to be honest with you, I don't like to tear people down, even if you're in the wrong. You know what? If you did some dirt, that's your business. And if you have to deal with consequences, fine. They have to deal with the consequences, right? But I don't want it to be a whole public free for all. I don't care if he's the Knicks coach, the Boston coach, anybody. I just don't want to see that. And you know what? Because I always adored Nia Long, I don't want to see that for her and her child. I think they got a 10-year-old son together or something like that. Well, they have a young child together. I don't know exactly how old he is. You don't want to see all this out there playing in the public eye. This is crazy. Okay. Right. Okay. I see what you're saying, Jay Ellis. He says supposedly they were broken up, which that's what it led me to believe that could be the case, because I can't see the double side of that. It's because it's one thing, it's already an inappropriate relationship, right? It's another thing when it's an inappropriate relationship behind your spouse's back. I mean, not spouse, because they're not married. Maybe that's why they're not together. I'm just saying. All right. Sorry. That's messy. I'm sorry. My bad. My bad, people. Anyway, but that's a whole nother thing. So, I mean, I guess at least he doesn't have, if that's the case, at least he don't have that hanging over his head, but still, it is what it is. I'm going to pretend like I didn't even see you write this, J-Tap. I mean, I am. Did you not see Friday? Best man. There's so many, but those are like the ones that stand out. Come on, man. You know what? I can tell by your picture if that's you. You're a little younger. So maybe it doesn't have the same amount of impact for you. I can understand that. I get it. But for me, being my age, over 40, growing up, these type of movies, everybody knows. This is not basketball related. I don't even know why I'm still talking about it. But everybody knows the go-to people that we grew up with, that we looked at and we idolized as young men, the Nia Longs, the the Maya Campbells, the I don't even want to say them anymore because some of these people are not like the same. Maya Campbell is wild right now. Lark Voorhees from Saved by the Bell. Y'all know, y'all know where I'm going, man. There's a lot of them out there. Come on, man. A lot of them out there. A lot of them out there. Just beautiful actresses. So yeah. Y'all are crazy, man. Call it the Isaiah Thomas rule. Y'all are crazy, man. Yeah. Oh, hey, Craig. That yeah, we keep that on the hush. That's a true story. Oh. But here's the thing. Those two individuals, even though they may be employed, are not a part of the team. So there may be some different rules in relation to the organization itself. They're kind of, even though they work for the company, they're kind of like outside proprietors in a way. I don't know how to explain it, but you know what I mean? It's a little different for them, but I hear you. I hear you. For the Love of the Game TV in the building. Salute. Guys, definitely check out For the Love of the Game. If you haven't checked out the show, it's really good, man. The takes are dope. Hard Will, Worldwide L on there. They're always having a bunch of different guests, people being able to chop it up with them. Definitely tune into them and check them out. That's number 4, OUR, Love of the Game. Check them out. There you go. Thank you. I don't even know how I drew a blank on that. J. Ellis, yes. Nia, Vivica, Sinai. So Halle Berry, Regina. Look, that's it. I get you guys. You understand? Y'all with me? Okay, Dwayne Dennis in the building. Salute. Yeah. Some dudes do just get tempted. It's a situation. If they, and if it's, I don't know, man. That's tough. I see you, Kerry. I see you. Oroku Saki in the building. Sha Powers in the building. Salute. Appreciate you. Definitely check out Sha Powers on Nick's Real Talk with my guy Divine, man. Check them out. Salute to their show as well. Man, a lot of good content creators in here in this chat. Comega in the building. Appreciate you. Thank you. All right. So let's go from here, man. Let's start it off. Now, unfortunately, I think something happened and I had 5 slides together. When I woke up this morning, I saved everything. I had it open. I woke up. I had to get ready to go to work. And when I looked, there was only 3. So I don't know what happened. But nevertheless, we'll talk about it. And I'll give y'all the gist of it. If I can't put it up, I apologize, man. I just didn't. Once I had to leave to go to work, I didn't have time to get back and do it. I just got home not too long ago. So unfortunately, that's the way the cookie crumbles. You try your best, man, but it is what it is. So that being said, I think that we should probably start from what some people feel is the team that made the best move to assure that they have a chance to get back to the Eastern Conference Finals and maybe then to the NBA Finals if everything works out. Will Salkin in the building. What's good? Appreciate you. Parrish Doug, I see you. He said I got 99 problems, but yeah, I know. I know. Salute Fabian Williams. Appreciate you. So that being said, I think we should take a look at the Philadelphia 76ers. So the Philadelphia 76ers, right? They picked up P.J. Tucker, Daniel House Jr., DeAnthony Melton, Trevelyan Queen, and Michael Foster Jr. Now, these are not all free agents. Obviously, this is a combination. This is basically the offseason, whether it be a free agent, whether you acquired somebody in trade, or whether you drafted somebody. So, and this is the key pickups for the Philadelphia 76ers. Excuse me. And let me tell you, PJ Tucker is going to be huge for this Philadelphia 76er teams. I think you guys who watched Miami, the past couple of years, and then also, the type of work he's done at other stops, you see what PJ Tucker is, man. He's a workman type, gritty, dog type player that, when you get him on your roster, he brings out the best in the guys on the team. He gets them hyped up on defense, and he gives you a little bit of that nasty. Some of these teams in the NBA are a little soft, and it's okay to be soft, especially when you're not ready to compete for a title. But when you're ready to compete for a title, you need a little of that nasty on your team. Patrick Beverley is a good example of that because he kept saying, I don't know if he's right or not, but he's like, listen, if I was on the Lakers, they would not have been getting they would have made it into the playoffs and had a nice deep run if I was on the team, because he feels like he provides that defensive intensity, and he's got that nasty, man. When you got that nasty on your team, I'm gonna tell y'all, it helps. It's very underrated, man. You'd be surprised. And so PJ Tucker brings that nasty, and I definitely think Philadelphia is going to benefit because they're, not for nothing. Outside, like Embiid has a little nasty in him. He's a tough dude. I don't know about some of these other guys they got on the team. You know what I mean? I'm not, saying they can't. They don't have that, but like James Harden, for example, he don't have that, right? Tobias Harris, it's questionable. It's in there, but you don't see it too often. But PJ Tucker, it's on full display. And I think he's going to make them guys better, get them a little bit more forceful, and maybe they learn how to put the clamps down on defense, man, because offensively, they can score. They got weapons. Tyrese Maxey is up and coming, star type play. I don't know if he'll be a star, but star type, if you will. And Harden can score, and obviously Embiid. And then they got Tobias Harris is basically a throwaway on that team, and we know Tobias Harris can score points. I mean, he has moments where he can get hot. It's not the same. I don't know why it's not the same. Maybe just wear and tear on his body has taken a toll. But offense is not an issue for the 76ers. It's all about the defensive end. And they really just have to figure out what is the best way for them to, put it all together. Because last year it kind of looked a little disappointing. I got to be honest. I mean, I don't know if it's just me. I really thought Philadelphia was going to be like every year, that they're there. They're right there. They usually have the best record in their conference, one of the best records. And then they make the playoffs and they're always right there, but they're just missing something. And then you think, okay, we get James Harden in here. You would think that's the missing piece, but it was a struggle. Definitely a struggle. So I don't know about that. If we take a look at the depth chart, this is not a bad team. Not a bad team at all. We're talking, and don't get a little confused, guys, if you see a name mentioned twice. It's just because they're showing you the starters, the second options, the third options, the fourth at each position. So you got to look this way. Look like this. Don't look up and down too much, really, when you're trying to put the teams together. So like Tyrese Maxey is the point guard. And in essence, what they're telling you is DeAnthony Melton is the second option, Shake Milton is the third option, and James Harden is the fourth option at that position. You don't need to worry about James Harden being the second option because he's usually already on the floor at the 2 guard spot, even if he's running the point himself. You know what I mean? It's just how the NBA shakes out when they do their depth charts. So hopefully that doesn't confuse anybody. So, I mean, look at that starting lineup. Tyrese Maxey, James Harden, PJ Tucker, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid. That's a good squad. It's a good squad. Like even what you lose out on with James Harden on the defensive end, PJ Tucker makes up for that because he's so ferocious on defense. And then Maxey's a pretty good defender himself. So Tobias Harris pretty much is good both ways. I don't see him being a horrible defender. I think he's okay. And then Joel Embiid is, he can do everything. Yeah, I think that's a very interesting team. And then you still got, Matthias Thybulle, Montrezl Harrell, for whatever that is worth, as long as he avoids any issues legally, because, he had his own situation that, this NBA is wild this year, man. There's been a lot of stuff going on. You got Furkan Korkmaz, Gorgeous Yang, Paul Reed, and I think Charles Bassey and Charlie Brown Jr. Isaiah Joe I don't know about him too much, I'll be honest. Yeah, so I mean, when you look at them, I think they're a tough team. Yeah. Dwayne Dennis, you're right. He said, they needed toughness. They definitely did, man. Because, it's just no excuse for how they played last year with the guys that they had on that team. They should have I think they should have been a much better team. They should have went. I mean, I know Embiid got hurt, but he did come back. Now, if Embiid didn't come back, then okay, you could use that as the excuse, but he came back. So, yeah, I think this is, Oh, okay. Guys, I hope everything's fine now. Craig was saying in the chat that the video kept freezing, and that's what I'm seeing. Like now I don't see it. Now I see it looks like the signal strength is good. I don't know what was happening before. And like I said, I apologize, guys. I'm always trying to give you guys the best possible signal strength. I paid more money for a new router, a new modem. I used to be wireless for a year and a half. Now I'm wired, and it's still, I'm like, I don't know it's not making a difference. It's crazy. Anyway, but thank you for sticking with me and rocking, man. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, so that's the Philadelphia mix, man. I think they're a team that definitely did improve, and watch out for them. Now, I don't necessarily think they're going to win the NBA championship, but you never know. Anything can happen. I definitely do think they put themselves in a great position to contend. So, yeah. So I would agree with that. So let's see who we got next up. I am interested to see who that may be. Oh, I know who it is. Yeah, that's right. I think somebody already mentioned it in the chat. Hey, there you go. The Atlanta Hawks. As you can see, the key pickups here are DeJounte Murray, Maurice Harkless, Justin Holiday, Frank Kaminsky, Aaron Holiday. I don't know what's the deal with the Holiday brothers, but okay, it works. AJ Griffin. We know AJ Griffin from Duke, and Tyrese Martin. So this is interesting. When you looked at the Atlanta Hawks team, I thought that when they played, especially 2 years ago, when they played the Knicks in the playoffs, I thought that all that versatility, all those weapons, that length that they had in certain spots, and the fact that all these guys could shoot the ball, I thought that was an incredible, mix of talent. It was very Golden State East, if you will. And I know that's what they were trying to go for. But it's weird because they got a good mix of defense and offense, but maybe they don't have enough of it. I mean, maybe that was the issue. I don't know. I think it's probably a combination of that. It's a combination of two things. One, they didn't have enough defense throughout, especially at certain positions, because you know what? It is what it is. Like Trae Young is an offensive dynamo, but the dude can't guard anybody. It is what it is. And like I said in the past, when it comes to a player of that magnitude, if you can't play defense that well, then you better be special on offense. And Trae Young is special on offense. So it's okay. You just deal with it. You build around them. You try your best just to build around them. Like I'm trying my best to get through this show, and I'm seeing that the signal string keeps going up and down. I'm sorry, guys. As I said, bear with me. I appreciate we're going to try to get through it, man. It's just crazy. Frustrating. Yeah, but so you think about what they had in those pieces. So maybe it's a combination of not having enough defense all around for the team. And, Trae Young's ball usage is one of the highest in the NBA. And when you got a guy who constantly has the ball in his hands that much, sometimes your offense doesn't flow the way it needs to flow. And sometimes guys don't get the proper touches that they need to get in order to stay in the flow of the basketball game. Now, don't get me wrong. It's kind of like an oxymoron to say that, right? Because Trae Young is a very good, playmaker, a very good facilitator. He can get you, 10 assists on any given night. Easy. He could without a problem. But I think it's part of the problem is just that's not on every night, not that it has to be every night, but it's not like that all the time. And even when it is like that, you got to see who he's passing the ball to. Maybe it's also the way the offense moves, that the way, the people that get the assist from him, maybe it's similar people all the time. Maybe the ball doesn't get spread around enough because of the systems that Atlanta runs, and they're very perimeter oriented. So, maybe they need to change up some of their systems, right? So in comes DeJounte Murray, a guy who is a budding star in the league. I mean, I think he can be a star in the league. I mean, he's really great as far as his anticipation on the defensive end. He's probably one of the best, if not the best, at steals in the NBA. He's a really good defender. He's not the greatest on-ball defender that some people may think he is. He does get beat, but he's really good at anticipating getting steals, and he has a linky body, so he's able to be a deterrent to some of the offensive players he's going up against. But you also know that he's not a good three-point shooter. He's a good scorer. He can score. He can get you 20 points a night. He gets into the lane. He's got a good mid-range, a pretty good mid-range, should I say. And once he gets into the lane, he's explosive in there. So that's a different look for this team. It also brings a different dynamic to the backcourt. It gives you a stronger defensive player. And that can help with, what Trae Young was lacking. Then you got Maurice Harkless. Maurice Harkless is a defensive guy. That's what he is. He was on the Knicks at one point. He's been around the league. I mean, he's probably played on maybe half of the NBA by now, but he's always gets a job because he plays defense. He may not be able to do much else, but he plays defense. So then you bring in Justin Holiday. The Holiday brothers are, they're nice. They can both, handle the ball. They can score a little bit. Defensively, I think Justin might be better. Or maybe it's Aaron. No, I think Justin is the better defender. You guys can correct me in the chat because I don't remember right off the top of my head. I know one of these brothers is better on the defensive end. Then you got Frank Kaminsky. You know what Frank Kaminsky is. You've seen him, and he's the guy who never really amounted to what his true potential should have been, or what we thought it might be. But he's always been a good, steady basketball player. He can shoot the rock a little. He's got size because of his height. He's a willing defender. Then you got AJ Griffin who came in, who AJ Griffin could be a really underrated piece for these Atlanta Hawks because the guy can shoot 40%, from three. I think he's around 40% from the field as well, 40 plus. Can he stay healthy? We don't know. He had some injuries in high school and college. As he goes forward, can he avoid that stuff? We'll see. That's going to be a big question. But I think he's a really good, solid pickup for them. The other thing, he's another willing defender. So some people say that he might be, questionable on the defensive end. I don't know. We got to see going forward. I don't know what to say about this, guys. This is really crazy. This wired connection is bananas. So you know what I'm going to do? I am going to try this. Shoot. Let me see here. I'm going to try to turn my Wi-Fi on, and maybe the Wi-Fi signal will overpower the wired signal. Maybe it helps. I don't know. Because this is crazy, bro. Crazy. Anyway, guys, and like I said, thank you guys for being here and rocking with me. I apologize. Y'all don't know how frustrated I am. I can't stop talking about it because it's really killing me. Thank you. Thank you for rocking with me, man. Keyshawn in the building. Salute. So, yeah, this is kind of one of those situations where I think that Atlanta might be another team that did a really good job at rounding out their roster and changing it in a certain way that this might play better to what their strengths can be. It might fit what Coach McMillan is trying to do over there a little better too, because that's the whole thing. What's the proper fit? Like what makes the most sense for the team going forward and what he's trying to do over there. So let's take a look. Let me see here. I'm going to put up this depth chart, and we'll see what we're looking like. So you got Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, Clint Capella. That's a nice squad. That's a nice squad. You still got Bogdan Bogdanovic. You added Maurice Harkless, Aaron Holiday, Onyeka Okongwu, who I think that kid is good. I think he's a special talent too. He may not be Clint Capella, but he's very similar. And, it's crazy that they got two of these guys. Then you got Justin Holiday, Kaminsky, AJ Griffin, Jalen Johnson. Oh, almost forgot about Jalen Johnson. That's another player that could, might prove valuable if he gets the minutes. Because, it's funny. You say what you will about the New York Knicks, guys, and the things that our team has gone through over here, and with a coach like Tom Thibodeau. The Atlanta Hawks didn't play a lot of their young talent either last year. A lot of guys didn't get the burn, so it is what it is, man. Some of these NBA teams, I guess they just, they don't feel a need to put guys out there, and throw them to the fire. Like they want to bring them along slowly. So the Knicks are not the only team that does that. Just wanted to throw that out there. So you also got Trent Forrest, Chris Silva. Yeah. But I think this is an interesting team. It's an interesting team. That bench might be interesting for them too. I mean, one of the Holiday brothers is going to be out there. Bogdanovic, I would assume AJ Griffin, Maurice Harkless, Okongwu, and maybe Kaminsky. That's not a bad backup 10, backup 5. That's a nice 10 right there. So that's an interesting look. they might be okay. They might be a team you got to worry about. I don't know that for certain because we got to see. We got to see if they mesh, if they gel. Let me see. Okay, all right. Thank you guys, man. Thanks for letting me know how things are looking, man. I apologize. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, hanging in there. Salute to Danny Landis. Appreciate you. Infamous New King in the building. I think I said your name already, but I'm gonna say it again, man, because you infamous New King. That's all that matters. Interesting. It's possible your wireless is gigabit and your wired is not. Yeah, you know what I mean? There's a lot of smart people out there, Freeman. Thank you. Yeah, man. Look, I'm going through it right now, Keyshawn. Yeah, and that's right. And also, that's a good point too. Going back to my point about some young players on Atlanta wasn't getting burned. I mean, look to the point that Sharif Cooper, they got, they sent him to the G League and then they eventually cut him. Ugh, that's crazy. Salute, Walter Blackman. Appreciate you. Francisco Carrillo in the building. Buena noche. Salute, guys. Thank you for being here and rocking with us. So yeah, I think so far we can see Philadelphia, like they didn't make incredible moves, but the moves they made could really make them a tough team to face in this coming basketball season. And Atlanta's moves aren't bad either. Like, Atlanta might be tough. Once again, I don't think they're championship tough, but I do think they can make a run. They can get into the playoffs, and they might knock somebody out. I don't know if they'll be able to go deep, but they might knock somebody out if they make it into the playoffs. Got to see. All right. So, yeah, guys, that's the Atlanta Hawks right there, and we'll see what happens with them. I still feel like once everything's said and done, the New York Knicks are going to surprise a lot of people. Just putting that out there. And we'll talk about the Knicks in a little bit. But I am really still want to get through just a couple more teams. Let's see here. Who do we have up next on the docket? Oh, that's right. Of course, it would be this team because they are making headlines. Yep. The Boston Celtics, man. Look at this cast of characters here that they picked up. Ooh wee. They're going, yo. Let me tell you something. Y'all don't know about J.D. Davison, that kick a ball, but he's a wild one, man. So him and Marcus Smart, that's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. So their key pickups are obviously Malcolm Brogdon, Danilo Gallinari, J.D. Davidson, and Mfiondu Kabengele. I think it's Kabengele, not Kabengele. I don't know. Yeah, so, I mean, they were kind of quiet for the most part, but in fairness, Boston had a really good team. They finals. And, the thing about them, too, is they got a lot of depth. I mean, they got a pretty good team from top to bottom. A lot of pieces that could get out there and play some minutes. So I think what they did makes a lot of sense. The Malcolm Brogdon move could be incredible. I mean, if the guy can stay healthy for half of the time, especially towards the playoff time, the move is incredible. Now, if he can't stay healthy and he gives you 20 or 30 games and he's out during the playoffs, then it's a waste. But they got nothing to really lose because they didn't give up any dynamic pieces that were cracking the rotation. So it works out. And, you still keep your core. Gallinari, I mean, Gallinari's just been a good basketball player wherever he's been. He's been solid. Can't fault them picking him up, and he gives them a nice situation with the height that he has. He's become a better defender. he's not a great defender, but he's become a better defender than he used to be. And I think he just understands how to play NBA basketball, because Gallinari was a pretty good basketball player when he first got here to begin with. He was a really good European basketball player, but when he got here, he had a learning curve with the Knicks. But over the time, him moving around to different organizations and being around different cultures and better defense, he's learned, and he's still a really good shooter. Definitely a great free throw shooter. And JD Davidson, like I said, he's a young kid who really he got some hops. He can shoot a little bit. He can break you down off the dribble. Defensively, I guess he can fit the Celtic brand. So yeah, he's a really good pickup for them. And Mifiondu Kabengele, he's the one that I don't know how much of an impact he's going to have on them. I just don't know, like, the playing time. You know what I mean? Like, where's that going to come from? He might be a piece that is going to spell somebody if they get hurt. That's how I would look at him. But he definitely has good height. He played with the Cavaliers. He played with the Clippers. He's just a backup. He's a role player, backup piece, like just to spell somebody. They had to get somebody because they let Tice go. So just a solid piece to add to the mix. It makes sense. So I think that once again, like, this could turn out to be an incredible move for them if Brogdon stays healthy. Because if you got a somewhat healthy Brogdon and a Gallinari and JD Davidson added to what you already have, I like that. And let's take a look at what they already have so you guys can kind of see how it plays out. So look at the starters: Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Robert Williams III. And then you got the additions of Malcolm Brogdon. You still got Grant Williams. You got Derek White, who played big minutes for them last year down the stretch in the playoffs especially. You still retain Peyton Pritchard, Luke Cornett, okay, Sam Hauser. I wonder if that's Doogie's, but probably not. Okay. Oh, there he is, guys. Noah Vonleh. Noah Vonleh is there. All right. And JD Davidson. So, yeah. And not to mention, this is all kind of like, roster construction from a certain point. There might be somebody else that cracks the team, because you guys know in training camp, teams are allowed to have 20 players on the roster, and you have to cut it down to 15 in preseason. And so, there might be somebody who sneaks in there who wasn't even on the radar, that you didn't think like they were going to be a part of the team that makes it. You never know. But once again, this Celtic team is going to be a tough team to match up against, a tough team to go into war with. And if Robert Williams III takes any strides to getting better, look out, because that kid is good. That kid is what I hope Mitchell Robinson turns into for us this year. It's weird because Mitch was already here, but Mitch went up and down with the weight, and I think it kind of took away from him last year. But this year he's coming into camp at his ideal weight. So we might see a much better Mitchell Robinson for the New York Knicks. So keep that in mind, guys. That's also something you got to, pay attention to. Oh, that's right. Good point. Thank you, Hyphen. And salute to you. I don't know if you've been here before, but Ari-UPS.tv is in the building, and he did bring up a really good point. I forgot about it. And as soon as you said it, I remembered. So, yeah, so that's going to require them to probably make another move. Maybe some of the people they added to fill out the 20-man roster, maybe somebody else sticks. Gallinari is out for the season. Shoot. Forgot about that. That's a tough one. Yeah, thank you, Yo Soy, Mr. Coach. Appreciate you, man. Thank you guys for bringing that up. Yeah, that's a tough one. I forgot about that. Jeffrey said Gallo is cooked. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. I forgot all about that, man. Whew. That is a tough one. Well, okay, it is what it is, guys. In theory, it was a nice acquisition. It's not going to work out for them, and we don't know if they're going to retain him after this year, but it was what it was. Either way, even without Gallo, honestly, the Celtics made it to the finals last year. So their team is going to be one of the teams that is going to be right in the mix no matter what. But I guess it all kind of depends really on the health of Malcolm Brogdon to help them get to that next level. Give them something that they were missing, because you guys know, as good as the Celtics looked in going into the playoffs, those streaks that they went on, you saw when it came down to the playoffs and teams could focus on certain players like Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they focused on him too, but he did a little better at handling it. You know, Jason Tatum had some real big battles, and he struggled a lot in the playoffs. So having a guy like Malcolm Brogdon, who's a stabilizer when he's out there, he can score, who is a good three-point shooter, a solid basketball player. He gives you something that Marcus Smart can't, because he's a better scorer all around. Even though Marcus Smart, say what you will about him, dude can knock down the three, man. I think people be sleeping on him. Marcus Smart ain't bad. Yeah. Sharice Duncan says Mitch has a jump shot now. I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it in a game. I've been seeing Mitch's jump shot for 3 years. No. We'll see. Mm-hmm. Harris Duggan said Celtics were 0-2 at MSG. Facts. Good point. All right, guys. So let's see. I don't know if I have any more of these that I was able to fit. Well, I finished them, but I don't know if I can find them. So let's just see if I have another one that's available. If I do, I'll just put it up there and we can talk about it. If not, we're going to talk about it anyway. But just understand, I was trying to do the work for you guys. I did it, and I don't know what happened. Okay, well, yeah, all I got is the overlay. I don't know what the other stuff is, so I'll put that up, because the next team on the docket is the let's see here, the Nuggets. Key pickups. Now the Nuggets were active. They picked up Bruce Brown, DeAndre Jordan, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Christian Braun, Peyton Watson, Colin Gillis. I think that's wrong. I think that's supposed to be Colin Gillespie, not Gilles. No, I think that's wrong. I don't know. Whatever. But they picked him up. They picked up Jack White. They picked up Adonis Arms and Kellen Grady. Yeah, it's a lot of players. I don't know how many of these guys are making the actual club, who's going to be sent to the G League or whatever. But, this is all a part of, like I said, they can have 20 guys on the team, and look like they got their 20. I don't know. Not to mention the other people they got on the team. So, yeah, it's a lot. Okay. Yeah, Drip Boy, I would agree with you on that. That is probably the case. But Bruce Brown, I think, DeAndre Jordan is probably going to be a decent piece for them, because he can help spell, the Joker, Nikola Jokic. And he's a good, I think he's a good teacher with big men. I think he may not have the physical abilities to shoot and do some other way, other level of scoring, but he's good at kind of putting guys in the right position. Because one thing you can never say about DeAndre Jordan is that he didn't work hard or he didn't do what he needed to do for his team. He was a very good defender, especially in his prime. And I think he can help them on that end of the ball. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is a very good acquisition for any team. I think he's a lot better than people give him credit for. He's not star quality, but he's really good. He's a really good role player. So that'll help them. Bruce Bowen and him. Christian Braun is somebody that people think might be a really good NBA player going forward. I don't know if he's going to get the minutes. He's a rookie. You know how it is. As well as all these other guys that they got here. I don't know about that. But, it is what it is. It's not horrible, to have these guys out there. I think they will help in the end. And let me see, since I can't show y'all what I would have had, I could at least tell y'all. So the Denver Nuggets roster, they've got Jamal Murray. I don't know if he'll be healthy. We'll see. Contavious Caldwell Pope at the shooting guard, Michael Porter Jr. at the 3, Aaron Gordon at the 4, which I know some people still hype about Aaron Gordon. I'm not. I don't know about Aaron Gordon this day and age. So that is what it is. And then Nikolai Jokic at the center. But Murray, Contavious Caldwell Pope, Michael Porter Jr., Gordon, Jokic, it's not a bad starting five. I would assume at some point, maybe not this year, but at some point, I think they're going to have to move on from Aaron Gordon as their power forward. It is what it is. But, they also have Bones Highland on the team. Like we just said, they got Bruce Bowen. They still have Jeff Green. They added DeAndre Jordan. Was he there? Was Ish Smith with the Nuggets last year, guys? I don't remember if he was. Let's see. I guess he was. I don't remember seeing him. Bugging out. So they've got Ish Smith. They've got Zeke Naji. We said Christian Braun. Vlatko Kankar. I'm not familiar with him. Apologize if that's somebody's favorite player out there. Jack White as well. So yeah, that's who they have, and it's interesting. So I don't know, guys. I think Denver is a interesting team. It always seems like when you look at their team, they're always missing something. Now, granted, if they get a healthy Jamal Murray and a healthy Michael Porter Jr., then that team is going to be exciting and they can make some noise. But I don't know if they have enough to contend for a championship. I mean, what do y'all think? Because I don't know. I don't see it. I think they can make some noise, though. They'd be a tough out. They might give somebody some fits, but I don't know. I don't know about that. I can't see it. Yeah, Clyde's favorite is Ish Smith. That's right. Gordon is a double ham sandwich. I hear you, Drip Boy. Okay, thank you, Paris Duggan. Ish was on Washington. That makes sense because I don't remember seeing him on Denver last year. Yeah. Yeah, man. I know. It's crazy. Yeah, that's how we doing over here. It's one of them days, man. I thank you, Yo Soy, Mr. Coach. You see it or you hear it. Okay, let's see what else we got. I got one more team to talk about, and then I want to get into the Knicks a little bit and talk about what they got going on. So bear with me, guys. The other team that I wanted to get into to mention to you guys is the Minnesota Timberwolves, right? So sorry, I don't have the thing to put up. Like I said, I had it. I don't know where it is now. It's somewhere in the ethos. I think it's in the alternate universe. Wherever there's another Tony Stark or Captain America, it's somewhere out there. So they picked up Rudy Gobert. They picked up Kyle Anderson, the slowest player in the NBA. Just joking, Kyle. They've got Austin Rivers. Okay. They picked up Josh Minot from Charlotte. I think that was draft rights. Yeah. They picked up AJ Lawson. He's on a two-way contract. CJ Ellaby from Memphis. And Matteo Spagnolo. He was second round 50th pick. Um, all I'm gonna say here is the acquisition of Rudy Gobert is an interesting one, big one for them. Austin Rivers, maybe if you can get a steady Austin Rivers, because I don't know what Austin Rivers was last year. I, I I'm so confused about what he was. I don't know. Kyle Anderson, he's a good player. He's just he just doesn't have a good foot speed, but as far as what he brings to the court, he's a good player. So yeah, I would say those are the keys that acquisitions for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Um, we got to see what happens though with them, how they're able to utilize these players in particular. So here's the thing, guys. Minnesota doesn't necessarily know. I don't think they know exactly how they're going to play going forward in the season. I think they're going to have guys that they're looking for to win spots, and then when they get these guys in camp, they're going to figure out who's where, right? And they're also going to figure out their positional flexibility, because having 2 7-foot guys. I mean, I don't. Carl Anthony Towns maybe 6'10". I don't know if he's actually 7 foot. I think he is, but we definitely know Rudy Gobert is. Having 2 7-foot-ish guys is and that you're planning on playing in your starting lineup is very interesting. Very interesting. And especially of their caliber. So, at the moment they still have D'Angelo Russell. Looks like he's going to be on the team. They've got Jaden McDaniels, Anthony Edwards, Carl Anthony Towns, and Rudy Gobert. That's not a bad team either, man. I'm just saying. Now, I think, should I say bad starting five? But I think they're going to run into some problems, man. I think, they have a little bit of a Knicks situation over there, because the Knicks undervalued the importance of Reggie Bullock, and I think the Minnesota Timberwolves have undervalued the importance of Patrick Beverley. Because some people might say, well, listen, you just added Rudy Gobert, one of the best defensive players in the NBA. So he makes up for what Beverly was giving him. He's going to be locking down the paint. Nobody's going to go in there, so they'll be fine. I agree that could be the case. But imagine what that team would be if they still had Patrick Beverly. Can you imagine the defense they'd be playing with Gobert locking down the paint and then Beverly on the perimeter? I can't imagine, man. I can't imagine. Anyway, they got Jordan McLaughlin. We talked about the addition of Kyle Anderson. They still got Naz Reid, who's I think is a really good player, a good backup. The addition of Austin Rivers. They have Torian Prince, Jalen Noel, PJ Dozier from the Dozier Boys, CJ Ellaby, Nathan Knight, and Luke Garza. Luke Garza in the building, folks. A Luke Garza sighting. I'm surprised, man. I thought Luke Garza was going to be a special player, man. I don't know. I don't understand how you could lead the nation in scoring. I don't even know what he averaged. It was something crazy, though. But, I don't understand. Like, these guys come into the NBA, and it's not the same. I get it, but it's just weird to see it, to witness it. I don't know. Give me 1 second. Let me just cough, guys. Sorry. Okay. All right. I'm good now, guys. Thank you. All right. So I'm not going to be much longer. Just I want to get into the Knicks a little bit, and then we'll go from there. Like I said, thank you guys for bearing with me. This freaking connection has been crazy, but it seems to have stabilized once I turned the Wi-Fi on, which is crazy. Some things don't make any sense. Shout out to Knicks 100. He said Wolves was destroying the Grizzlies in the playoffs. They were. Yo, the Wolves was no joke, man. And that's why I don't understand. Like, you guys understand that team, especially the young guys, most of the young guys are perimeter-oriented guys. Like, Patrick Beverley had a big influence on those guys. I don't care what you want to say. Some people don't like Patrick Beverley for the way he does things. The guy's a dog, and he brings the best out of the players on this team. As long as they listen. Yeah, man. It's like sometimes I get interested to see how certain players would play together. Because correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Patrick Beverley's ever played with Butler from Miami. I don't think he has, but I could be wrong. Maybe at a stop, maybe they did. I'm not sure. But wouldn't that be interesting? Butler and Patrick Beverley on the same team. Oof. That to me, that's exciting. Like a lot of games, it's all about the offense. Baseball, football, it's all about offense and what the offense looks like. Sometimes it's interesting to see what would happen on the defensive end when you got some guys that really go after it. So, shout out to Slim Samma in the building. Slim Slammer. Vaughn Allen is here. What's good? Salute, guys. Salute. Appreciate y'all. David L's in the building. Good to see y'all, man. So, yeah. That's what we got going on, guys. Now, let me talk about these here New York Knickerbockers. So, you guys pretty much know the New York Knicks may have not had the off season we thought they were going to have. So it is what it is. We know he who shall not be named, who's on Cleveland now, didn't wind up at Madison Square Garden. So some people are really disappointed, and they're looking at the offseason as if it's a bust. It's not a bust. The offseason has been really good for the Knicks. It could have been great. It was not great. Now, for some people, it is great. Some people are happy that, he who shall not be mentioned is not here, right? Because they feel like this gives some of these young guys a chance to play. We get to see the best of our young core. Okay, maybe that's the case. And I'm not opposed to it, because that's what I was hoping for a long time ago. I'm a little concerned about the fact that I think, it's tough to find playing time for all these guys. Because you guys know that recently it came out that, the Knicks want to find playing time for Quickly. Recently, it came out that now the Knicks are considering, we don't know where this is coming from, considering starting maybe Grimes or Cam. That's more playing time for either of those guys. And as was said before, and it just came out again like a day or two ago, the Knicks are trying to get more playing time for one Obi Toppin. So, I ask you guys, starters are Jalen Brunson, just proposed starters, Jalen Brunson, Evan Fournier, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. Then you've got Derrick Rose, Quentin Grimes, Cam Reddish, Obi Toppin, Isaiah Hartenstein, Jericho Sims, Miles McBride, Emmanuel Quickly. They've added Svi Mikhailuk and Ryan Arcidiacono. To me, if Svi plays here and there, some spotty minutes, okay, it is what it is. But he's probably the last of the bench mob, the second bench that you really worry about maybe putting in there. But you're not worried about Ryan Arcidiacono. You're not worried about Miles McBride. It is what it is. I'm sorry, guys. Miles is really low on the totem pole, and I'm sorry if you don't believe it. I liked Miles too. I think he's a player who could fit a team, but this Knick team, they got too many guards. I don't see how Miles fits. You got to figure out playing time for Jalen, Evan, Derek, Quentin quickly. That's a lot, man. And if you want to throw Cam into the mix too, because he is a guard type, guard/forward. I don't know. There's a lot. So yeah, I don't know, guys. How are they going to be able to? Jalen Brunson is going to play 30 plus minutes. RJ Barrett's going to play 30 plus minutes. Julius Randle's going to play 30 plus minutes. Mitchell Robinson may play somewhere between high 20s and 30 minutes. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know, because he has been injury prone in the past. Maybe they keep him to some type of minute restriction, like no more than 30. You never know. Where do you get these minutes? I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know how you do it. So we'll see. This is going to be a question that they're going to have to work long and hard on rotations and people winning certain battles in training camp and preseason to figure out who is going to warrant getting as many minutes as possible and taking minutes away from someone else. Some minutes can be taken away from RJ. He doesn't need to play 36 minutes. He can play 31, maybe 32. Julius doesn't need to play 34 minutes, 35 minutes. He could probably be around 30. I don't know how they're gonna do this, guys, because once everybody got a plan until they get hit in the face. Tyson said that, was it? I don't know. Once you actually put these guys out there, and they've been on this team, because the one thing about this Knick team is we've got guys that are returning. They already had their roles. You're going to put them out there, and they're used to being in those roles. Julius Randle, he's used to playing 30-plus minutes. It's going to be crazy to figure out how they're going to do this. I will say Alec Burks played a pretty good amount of minutes. Not a lot, but a pretty good amount of minutes last year. So somebody's going to benefit from those minutes. Who? I don't know. Maybe it'll be split between Quentin Grimes and Cam Reddish. We got to figure it out. Derrick Rose is coming back healthy. He's taking somebody's minutes, or at least some of them. I know people are like, no, maybe Derrick will sit on the bench. Derrick just said the other day that he's feeling better than he's ever felt before. He's back to his original playing weight. You think Derrick is not going to be out there playing? You are sadly mistaken. And Tom Thibodeau loves Derrick Rose, and he sees that. If Derrick feels good about himself, Derrick's going to play. Yeah, man. I don't know. This is tough, man. This is tough stuff. Let me see what Slim Slammer says. We mob deep. Yeah, we are. We are deep. Heartbreak Nova the third in the building. He said at least 5th seed. Are you talking about the Knicks, or were you talking about another team? I think you are talking about the Knicks probably at this point. Jeffrey Clafter says he plays them till their legs fall off. That's probably true. That's probably true. You may not be wrong about that. David L says Nick said this, then do something else. If we're not winning, we have no luxury to do this till later in the season. Tibbs will play best players, same 10 first. If we're desperate for a win, they say play kid. Yeah, I know. And this is what I'm trying to say. Now, listen, if Tibbs comes out and he starts Cam or Quentin Grimes out the gate, okay, look out, because maybe Tibbs actually is buying into trying to do things a little differently. But the Tibbs I know and seen, I would expect Fournier to start, because I just think it's easy and safe for him. I know what Fournier is. So throw him out there. He'll give me some threes. Maybe I'll limit his minutes. Maybe, instead of having him out there for 7 minutes in the first quarter, I'll have him out there for 5 minutes, right? Or 4 minutes. I'll bring him back, but I'll lessen some of the time he's actually out there and bring somebody else in quickly. No pun intended, by the way. We'll see. Jeffrey Clapton says Grimes or Cam gonna sit. I think so. I think so. That's the point I've been trying to make, Paris Duggar. I'm not gonna get over what I saw last year, and it hurt me deeply because I had a little money right. No, anyway, sorry. It was a moment of weakness, a moment of weakness. All I needed was for Luke Kennard to hit 2 threes in the second half. Just say it. The Knicks locked him down. This was the game where we got to see the best of the young talent that we had. You know, Cam was out there, Grimes was out there, RJ was out there, Quickly was out there, Obi was out there. This was an interesting lineup. And they were locking them down. Luke Kennard couldn't get a 3-point shot off. Reggie Jackson was flustered as hell. He didn't know what he was doing. He was turning the ball over. Listen, that team was a little exciting, man, a little explosive. So I definitely would say that something to look at. Something to look at. Let me see here. Slim Slammer says, bring back that penitentiary defense. Yeah, man. We want to see it. We want to see it. Punisher BX1, Tyrannosaurus Tibbs got to go. I think this is the year, man. Either Tibbs does something has to change with this Knick organization, right? You know, the team itself, the rotation's got to be tighter. It's, you know, you got to understand what you need out there at any given night. And if things ain't working, you got to be prepared to move on. They also got to open up the offense, and maybe Tibbs has to tailor some of his defensive principles to his new personnel a little bit. But that the defensive side, that's easy for Tibbs. That's the third thing that he needs to probably worry about just a little bit. The offensive stuff is huge, and the rotation stuff is huge. Gotta play guys when you need to play them. And if you get one of them games where, and this should be no matter what, I don't care how much money you're making, if you go out there and RJ don't have it, right? That doesn't mean you don't play RJ and leave him on the bench. But if RJ don't have it, then you bring in Cam. You bring in somebody else. And if Cam got it, then you ride the hot hand. RJ might be able to come back in the game later and maybe he gets it together. But if he comes back in and he's stinking up the joint, then RJ, you know, you got to go back to the bench and we ride the hot hand. Because not every night Cam, you know, whoever it may be, is not always going to be hot. That's why you ride in the hot hand. You go with what looks like it's working on a given night. Play the cards that you're dealt. Punisher BX1 says, trade Fournier to France. The 2 spotters for Cam and Grimes. Best man win. Maybe that's the case. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. We'll see. We'll definitely see. Well, anyway, guys, I think that I'm optimistic. I hope a lot of you out there are optimistic as well. You know, some of the teams we touched on earlier, they've got really good rosters, and they should be fine. They have a real good chance to compete. Maybe not all championship contenders, but they have a chance to compete and go somewhere in the playoffs, some deeper than others. And, you know, you never know what could happen. You could catch lightning in a bottle, and that's all you need to propel you to the next level. Look what happened with Boston. So we'll see. And then with regards to my New York Knicks, be patient, guys. They're going to be better than people think. Maybe not as good as some people hope. Somewhere in the middle. And that in the middle could surprise a lot of people. You never know. We got to see what it shakes out to be, man. But I feel good. The only thing, the saving grace for this team is Tom Thibodeau's defense, because defense does win basketball games. If you keep the team that you're playing to a low number on offense, your chance to win the game grows, because the Knicks can score with this team that they got out there. They should be able to get some points. it may not be the prettiest. There may be some efficiency issues, but they can score a little bit, yo. So you never know. Uh yeah, I don't know, man. But good luck with the thought. I don't know about that yet, but one day we're gonna get there. And shout out, listen, right here, folks, right here. Underdogs. Nobody's thinking they can do anything, man. New York state of mind. Shout out to my New York Giants. 2-0, baby. Let's go. Let's go. If the New York Giants could do it, why can't the Knicks have a good record and surprise some people? Why not? Anyway, man, thank you guys for being here and rocking with me. I appreciate y'all. Once again, shout out to my guys, Jose and to John. Always, still Knicks fans is La Tres Mascaraditos. We're always gonna be rocking, man. Just one of those days where we had some, prior commitments, so people did what they had to do, and I respect them and appreciate how and do what they got to do for theirs. And again, I'm sorry about the internet stuff going in and out. This is so disrespectful. As a matter of fact, as soon as I close the show, I will be calling my cable provider and seeing what they could do about my internet, because this is crazy. I could understand if we was in a storm or something. It stopped raining hours ago. I don't know what's going on, man. Jeffrey Clafter says not contenders but competitive, right? Vaughn Allen said, gotta tell you, I gotta see where their mental fortitude is going to be. Leadership has always been our Achilles heel. True. And that's where you hope Brunson does step up in that regard. Facts. Shout out to you guys, man. The chat, you're always on fire. Oh, and before I forget, guys, thank y'all once again, man. Thank y'all for always rocking with the MBK fam. If y'all haven't checked out all the shows, I know most of y'all have. Y'all know what it is. But if there's anybody new who's just coming on, who's just tuned into the show and said, hey, what's this about? Definitely tune into all of the MBK fam shows. We're talking Josh, aka Uncle Fulio, with the controversy, Tony Crow's Nixon Bruises, Steph, the Queen's Court, and she's got Dope Soul Sports, her Dope Soul Sports show as well. Check that out. And not to be undercut in anything. International Andy in the mix. Check his show out. International Andy is really still, new to dropping his own content. But once he gets going, watch out, because he puts out some fire content, man. And I definitely love the fact that he's able to give us an international scoop about what's going on out there, because I honestly don't follow as much as I would like to. And the Rokus stuff is always good to get those updates. So keep it coming, Andy. And also shout out to my guy, the Podfather himself, Simeon Russell, the one who put it all together, the one that we owe a lot of our Nick content life to, because he inspired us to be here doing this. So shout out to you as always, Sim. Definitely check out Sim. Very soon, you're going to see him back on his regular schedule with the pre-games, the post-games, the shoot-arounds, and all of the NBK content that he throws out there for y'all, man. So, yeah, definitely check out the whole fam. And look forward to seeing Still Nick fans again this Saturday for the Know the Ledge show at 11 a.m. And then we'll be back again for SKF Weekly on Monday night at 9 p.m. And thank you guys, man. Once again, if y'all are not subscribed to Still Nick fans, please do. We appreciate y'all. We are 7 away from our goal of 2,000 subscribers. We're at 1993, y'all. 7 away. It was so close. It's right there. So if there's 7 of y'all that are watching right now, make sure y'all hit that like button for NBK. But come on over to Still Nick fans and hit that subscribe button, man. We appreciate y'all. You get to see a little bit more of me, a little bit more of John, and you get to hear a little bit of Jose. So, yeah, always holding us down on the ones and twos. As I always say, thank you for being here. John would say stay blessed and be safe. But I'm going to tell you, Tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still Nick fans, we'll be back again. Thank you for tuning into the NBA Report. And like I said, hit that subscribe button for Still Nick fans, man. Just type in Still Nick fans and go over there, hit that subscribe button, get us to that 2,000 mark. We're 7 away, man. Do what you can, man. Appreciate y'all. Take care. Have a great rest of your night and see what's going on with this Thursday night football, man. Somebody got to win, right? Later. Run that